Okay, Google, play Little Green Bag. Yeah. Looking back on the track for a little green bag. Gotta find just the kind for losing my mind. Out of sight in the night, out of sight in the day. Looking back on the track, gonna do it my way. Out of sight in the night, out of sight in the day. Looking back on the track, gonna do it my way. Looking back. Looking for some why are you going right into the chorus? There's like a bit there that you're missing out on.
Oh, do they just
you
go...
absolute dunce. There's like a little riff in between the chorus and the verse after he says looking back.
I think it
like,
then just goes back into...
Looking for some happiness, but there is so a loneliness to find. Turn to the left, turn to the right. Looking upstairs, looking behind. Shit, almost dropped my phone. Hello everybody, welcome to the Temporary Uncles episode. The 10. Temporary Uncles podcast, episode 10.
You did it.
I did the funny.
I'm finding increasingly more amounts of amusement in just saying that things are funny as opposed to
Actually...
as opposed to making a joke or something.
Yeah.
I just like, it's so fun.
It's so fun.
There's something about it that appeals to the child in me.
I think it's silly voices and funny faces.
Yes.
Pinnacle of humor.
I'm regressing in
You could
my
say
humor.
you could say absolutely anything while doing a silly voice and a funny face, and it would like
It would make me fun.
it would be funny. Like you could
The
like,
idea of
you
being
could say,
funny.
You could say something like very offensive, but if you did it in a funny voice and a silly face, you'd probably still laugh. Woo!
Anyhow, well, this time, I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm pumped. I'm happy.
Should we let the audience know?
Yes.
Okay, so we did a recording of episode 10, of an episode 10.
Yes.
Like
Would be episode 10.
2-3 days ago. It was Saturday, and today's Tuesday.
We recorded for about 90 minutes, and at the end of it, we were knackered.
We listened to a bit of it at the end, and then we realized, oh shit, we did the same thing we did in episode 8 and forgot to actually plug the microphone in properly, or like forgot to connect it properly.
Yeah, I forgot to
so
select the USB interface on Audacity.
And so we were recording with the bloody laptop.
Yeah, the super shite
internal microphone again.
The grade A asshole
And so we
microphone.
decided, we'll try a second recording on the day, and we got about 40 minutes in, and we were just like,
not even that.
Yeah.
We did maybe 15 minutes,
Well,
and we gave up.
We got like 15 minutes in and gave up, but we still recorded like 40 minutes. I looked at the time before we like gave up.
Oh, okay.
We got to 40 minutes before we gave up. We got about halfway through what we were supposed to do. And so we just were like, nah. So I was like going to edit the crappy sounding one, but it was just
too
bad.
Unlistenable.
So we were just, okay, let's try again today. Because I feel like it's better to be late and sound good and also be energetic than to have a really shit sounding one on time or a really good sounding one of low energy.
Yeah, like the second go was a completely non-starter. It was dead in the water immediately, and the other one just happens to be recorded in the worst quality possible.
Yeah.
So even if you liked it and enjoyed the content, you couldn't listen to it.
Yeah, and I'm sure we could just do a better job today anyway. So let's stop waffling on about that shit and get on to the actual podcast. It is the 10th episode, Ben.
That's important.
The 10th, yes.
That's the mark.
It's the mark of like, yes, we've hit 10, so I think it's good.
The next milestone is the Christmas episode.
Yeah,
We have
okay.
the Christmas.
What I had planned for this episode, the 10th episode.
10 Prairie Uncles.
10 Prairie Uncles, yes.
Ha!
What I had planned for this episode was I would quickly read off the list of my favorite films of last year. Because I was going to do that last episode and then didn't. Because I think we just got too caught up on the actual things we were talking about.
Oh, yes. Well, when you said last episode, I'm like, I was there, you did it. But then I realized that was, we're talking about one that made it to air.
Yeah. No, episode 9, not
So
episode
this
10,
video
take 1.
Had some sort of a bit of backstory where you tried to do it.
I was. If you look back on my channel, you'll see videos like top movies of 2014, 15, and 16.
Yes.
I can't remember if I did one in 2013. I may have. I might not have.
So when did the 2017 films? When did that start to be in development?
Well, I started. I had finished like actually coming up with the list and stuff in February, which is already pretty late.
Right.
Because most of the time I got them shot in at least. Most of the time I got them shot either in late December or early January. But I didn't get this one shot until March. I actually didn't shoot it until March.
Oh, so you'd filmed it already, or was it just
filmed it
post that
already,
you were
and then
trying
it's
to-
just like I just completely lost the motivation to edit it.
So, how far into 2018 do you consider inexcusable to release a 2017?
Now,
Yes.
Obviously,
You could release it today, and then that's it.
May I would say was too late.
Okay.
Once I hit May, I was like, oh, fuck it. I'll continue on the videos I actually have passion for. But I still kind of like the list, so I kind of wanted to quickly list them off.
To make up for it,
Tell me. It in the podcast. Yeah.
17 films.
Yeah. So, real quick, I thought I would just say that there are a few really good films that I saw that were released in theaters in America or have the year 2017 on their IMDb page, or they were released in another country in 2017. But unless they were released in Australia in 2017, they don't count for me. So movies like 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Shape of Water, Darkest Hour, Call Me By Your Name, and I, Tonya, which are all fantastic films, they don't count because I saw them in theaters here this year. They came out in here and in most countries here.
And because you've mentioned
2018.
them, can they appear in the greatest films of 2018?
Yeah,
video?
yeah,
Okay,
I reckon. I did that with The Hateful Eight. It's
yeah.
technically, I think it was technically classified as a 2015 film, but I put it on the 2016 list instead because we saw it in 2016.
I was going to say that seemed
And it
early.
came out in most countries in 2016.
Right, okay, so...
Remember we saw it in January?
Yes.
In 70mm.
At the Rivoli.
Yes. And thanks to that segue, I'll go back into the list. Here are some honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list, but were still good movies, or I thought were at least worthy of mention. I'm going to remove Justice League from that list real quick. Because that movie, while entertaining, I wouldn't call good.
Would you burn it with fire? Would you...
I've gone out of my way to not buy a copy of it, if that's good enough.
How could you go out of your way to not do something that isn't, like,
Well, because,
there?
like, every time, like, my mom has asked, hey, do you want to get Justice League on DVD? Because, like, it's like a family movie. We've got all the Star Wars, we've got all the Marvel movies, all the DC movies, of course. But, like, she's like, oh, when do you want to get Justice League? And I'm like,
Never!
never, unless they release a director's cut.
Eh.
If they specifically announce that there will never be a director's cut, I will flake.
Contact Joss Whedon and be like, BB.
Well,
tell
that bitch probably has never read a fucking DC comic in his life, so...
Oh!
You haven't seen the movie, so you don't know how badly it disrespects Batman.
Well, I'm also
so...
not, like, hip enough on the superhero lore to be like, oh, well, that's a mistake.
No, even, like... You've seen The Dark Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like The Dark Knight.
That's, like... Okay, so the Dark Knight trilogy is like if Batman was real.
What do you
right?
mean?
That's as in, like, that's what the trilogy is supposed to
You're
be.
saying Batman's not real?
If Batman was real.
What are you saying to me, Nicholas? Are you trying to ruin, like, my
Christmas?
life? You ruined my Christmas!
Next you'll say Santa's not real.
Next you'll say Jesus isn't white.
Next you'll say he didn't walk on water and turn water into wine.
You can't say that he's an Arab, alright? Because that's racist to me.
Anyway, here are the movies I thought were good, but not good enough to be considered to be like one of my favorite movies of the year.
Okay.
Atomic Blonde, John Wick 2, the 3 MCU movies, so Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Thor Ragnarok, and Spider-Man Homecoming. Mother, the new Darren Aronofsky film. Gerald's Game, a Netflix horror movie. Kong Skull Island, Alien Covenant, Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, Okja, Raw, Free Fire, The Void, Split, A Cure for Wellness, Annabelle Creation, Live by Night, and Creep 2. And Creep 2 is one I watched very recently but thought I would add to that list. And some of those are really good, some of them are like kinda good.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
How do you win Gerald's Game?
Gerald's doesn't have a game. I don't know why the movie's actually called Gerald's Game.
Is it because Gerald's like, I want to play a game, and then he has a fucking stroke immediately? That's the one, isn't it, where he ties his wife up and then
yes. Gerald's Game is the movie about they want some more sexy times, so he handcuffs his wife to the bed, and then has a heart attack, and then she's stuck to the bed and has to try and find a way to either get help or escape.
He's like, look, baby, I'm gonna slip this butt plug in, and then he's out. He's down for the count.
Yeah, that's exactly how the movie goes.
He's like, look, I'm just gonna spread you open for a second.
Just gonna shove a butt plug into Bruce Greenwood over here.
I don't know who Bruce Greenwood is, but I don't know if he would appreciate that rampant butt plug.
You know who Bruce Greenwood is, but you probably don't know him by name.
Is he the guy that has an aneurysm in Gerald's Game?
Oh, very good, Ben. Very good. You get a pat on the head.
Oh yeah, I did it.
This is Bruce Greenwood. This guy.
Oh, yeah,
He's in Star Trek.
I've seen his face.
Yeah.
Is he? He's not. I was gonna be like, is that David Caruso? But I know it's not because you just told me that it's like
Bruce Greenwood.
Because I forgot that that's not the name of the character in CSI.
He was Batman in a movie. I'm trying to remember what it was. In an animated movie, he played in Batman Under the Red Hood, which is one of the best DC animated movies. He voices Batman. Bruce voicing Bruce.
Does Mark Hamill voice the Joker in that?
No, John DiMaggio does.
Like Bender?
Yeah.
Bender bending Rodriguez?
Yeah, and Jake the dog.
Oh, he's Jake.
Yeah.
Who
Jake the dog and Bender sound exactly the same.
My shiny yellow ass.
I wouldn't call it. It's hairy yellow ass.
Yeah, I was trying to work out.
And he'd stretch his ass to be really close to your mouth.
Transmogrify my hairy yellow ass.
Yes. I need to catch up on Adventure Time. Free Fire is another one I think you would really enjoy. Free Fire is like... It's like Reservoir Dogs, but like... all of the characters are in the same location instead of just like 3 or 4 of them.
Is it silly?
It's a comedy.
Because Reservoir Dogs is pretty silly.
But it's great.
It's pretty silly.
Free Fire is I think a deal. I can't remember what the deal itself is, but a deal gone wrong between like 2 feuding gangs, and then it's basically just a massive 90-minute Mexican standoff in like a shootout taking place in this warehouse, and it's just great. It's so good. Like it's got Sharlto Copley.
Oh, I like him.
Brie Larson, Armie Hammer, Cillian Murphy.
Oh yeah,
he's in it.
He's a weird looking dude.
He's a handsome boy.
He's got cheekbones.
Yeah.
He's got many cheekbones.
He's got
at least 2.
Yeah. Michael Smiley.
Oh,
this guy.
Do I know who that is?
Yes. Michael Smiley.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yes. Noah Taylor. And those are probably all the actors you know of.
Trying to think where I've seen Michael Smiley before. What has he done?
The Cornetto trilogy. He's worked with Edgar Wright a lot.
I'm trying to imagine.
Bikey zombie. He's a bikey zombie in Shaun of the Dead.
Okay.
Zombie in like bright lycra and the helmet. He's not the Reverend Green, but he in The World's End, he's like the guy who tells them that the robots are the town's overrun by robots.
Oh, okay.
The guy at the bar who tells them that, and the I can't remember who he is in Hot Fuzz. He might not even be in Hot Fuzz.
But with Shelton
Anyway,
Copley,
yeah.
I've only ever seen him in
District
South
9?
African films. He's in Chappie.
He's in District 9, Chappie, and Elysium.
Yes.
Have you seen Elysium?
I've seen bits of it.
Okay, he's the villain in that movie.
He's the bad guy.
He's in Maleficent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he keep his Afrikaans accent in films that
Yeah.
aren't set in?
Well, he's a very good actor, so I think he generally leaves it unless it's like specifically they want him to do an accent.
Yeah.
But if they don't ask him to do one, I think he just kind of keeps the Afrikaans accent.
Because I think it would be shocking in Maleficent, which is meant to be it's a medieval setting, and
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie's got the hello.
Hello.
I think it would,
Hello.
hello.
And then you've got like this guy coming over and be like, "Fucking prawns, eh?
Hey, prawns!
Fucking."
Did you
That's
watch
a A-team
the
clip.
World Cup, man?
I accidentally clicked on an 18.
Did you
clip.
eat any cat food? Hello. Yes, and you shall see. I shall curse you and all of your kind. I curse you. May your fat body be the same.
Anyway, this is my top 17 films of 20. How are we into this? 25 minutes. I mean, 25 minutes recording. I'm sure quite a lot of that's
3
been.
cans of cat food in.
What?
That's the measurement we're gonna use now. Cat food.
Oh, it's unplugged.
No, it's not.
Ah. I don't know what the dials do. Which is the volume? Okay, both of them.
There's 2 of them, and then there's the little one. There's a
Do
little,
either of the knobs go to 11?
they don't have any numbers on them, so it's not possible. They don't even go to 1 because there's no.
Disappointed!
I'm sorry.
Anyway, we've been stalling for long enough. Here's my top 17 films of 2017. Number 17, T2,
Have
Train
we not
Spotting.
listed one of them?
No, you keep going off on fucking stupid tangents, you bitch. T2 Train Spotting, good sequel to the first one.
Yes.
Yes, we saw it in theaters, didn't we?
We did.
And it's like the one movie on this list you probably... No, you saw number 9 in theaters and number 6 with me, and number 5 as well with me.
It's the only one that I saw was Train Spotting.
No, it wasn't. I literally just mentioned it.
I only saw Train.
Number 16, Colossal. That's an Anne Hathaway movie where she is a woman spiraling into alcoholism who finds out that she can control a monster in Seoul, Korea.
He dumps her because her pussy smells.
Number 15, Wonder Woman. That very good movie from DC Films. I think the first big budget female superhero movie, and it's very well done.
How much?
Gal
is it
Gadot is
Oh, go on.
perfect casting.
How much is it set in World War One?
The entire movie, well, no, I'd say like the first 20 minutes are like Wonder Woman as a child,
Yes.
and then the rest of the movie is entirely set in World War One. Even the bits that are in Themyscira, like
I don't know what that is.
Paradise Island, that's where Wonder Woman lives.
I thought she was like in the Amazon.
They're called Amazons, but they live in Themyscira. Anyway,
Is it in the Amazon?
no, it's an island in the middle of the ocean,
Oh.
surrounded by a force field that makes the island invisible.
You see, I thought that Wonder Woman came from South America because they were Amazons.
Number 14, It, Chapter 1. Very good. Can't wait for the sequel. It's got Bill Hader, and I'm very happy about that. Bill Hader is playing an older Finn Wolfhard in the sequel. And I think James McAvoy's in it, and so is Jessica Chastain. So they've got some big names.
You know who should play a grown-up Finn Wolfhard?
Keanu Reeves?
No. Dan Avidan.
Nah, he's too Jewish. They don't really look at all similar.
They've got a similar shape of face.
No,
Yeah.
no,
They've got like triangle chins.
no. Finn's face is much wider, Dan's is much longer.
Dan hasn't got a long face.
Dan's got a long face.
His nose just makes it look long. It's got like a vertical... Because like himself, he is long.
He's a long man.
And so you would imagine everything in him to be long and thin. But
including his pee-pee.
like a
Number
Coke can.
13, The Big Sick. Best romantic comedy I've ever seen. Not counting romantic. Well, I guess it is a romantic dramedy. One of the best romantic drama comedies I've
Is it
seen.
better than Love Actually?
I haven't seen Love Actually. Have you?
Yeah,
How
a couple times.
is it good?
I mean, I don't even know anymore because it's just been on TV. It's just become like something that's fucking on at all times. It gets to Christmas and it's
And
like,
you-
oh look,
and-
Alan Rickman cheated on his wife.
And you actually watch it every time it's on?
No, but I've like seen bits and pieces of it 1,000 times, but I've probably seen it as a whole 2 or 3 times.
I've never seen Love Actually.
You
The
should.
only movie of that like ilk that I've seen is New Year's Eve.
Yeah, well, that one's like trash. It tried to be
It
Love
is.
Actually, but just including 1,000 famous people.
It's just the only reason I saw it is because I think it came out at about a time when my parents just kind of weren't like okay with me being at home on my own or something. I can't remember, but they just took me along to. That might not have been the reason, but they just took me along to see this movie anyway because it was gold class. Maybe that was the reason why they.
Oh,
took
you saw
me.
it in cinemas?
Yeah, in cinemas in gold class.
Oh my boy.
So the food, like, there were a few jokes here and there that I found funny. The majority of I just thought that the actual experience was great because the food was really good.
It's like, oh, this calamari is really nice.
I've never eaten calamari in my life.
You've never seen Love Actually? You've never eaten calamari?
No,
Who
I
are
ate
you, Nicholas?
chicken burgers at
Who are you?
gold class.
I don't even know who you are anymore. What's number 15?
What did you have an assumption about me that I had both eaten calamari
Yeah.
and seen Love Actually?
But yeah.
Things that I have never ever given the like impression that I had done.
Yeah, like my schema for you was like, Nick, he likes movies, he likes green, he wears like zip-ups and he eats calamari and watches Love Actually.
I mean, I'm not even a big seafood guy. I eat salmon. That's salmon and flakes, like the extent of my seafood.
I thought you were a seafaring captain. I thought that you
Boy,
fished on the regular.
Boy, I'm a chicken man. I eat chicken, boy. Okay? That's my meat.
Next you're gonna tell me that you're not Chinese, really.
Next, you're gonna tell me that you're fucking French.
Oui.
Wait, you are? That's that sketch done. Number 12, Silence, the new Martin Scorsese movie. So I was seeing how long you were actually gonna let that silence go, and you ruined it for yourself. Congratulations, you played yourself.
I'd see.
He's just a giggly boy right now. Ben's happy that he's
Giggly
just not
bitch.
working at the moment.
Yeah. Well, I'm working 10 hours tomorrow. So. There was a guy that...
I'm just gonna wait. Are you working at the counter tomorrow?
Probably.
For
I'll
10 hours?
Probably be working.
I'm just gonna
bits and pieces.
I'm just gonna sneak up at Woolworths and just surprise you by going and stalling the line behind me
If you do,
and not buying anything.
I'll tell you to get fucked. I'll have you. I will arrest you.
What would you?
I will arrest you.
Have you ever been held at gunpoint at the counter?
No.
Yeah.
I don't
see,
live in
see, America.
Afghanistan.
See, America. That's your problem.
Yeah.
Learn to control your guns.
Just like if you go to Frankston every minute.
I would doubt there are even guns in Frankston.
100% militarized zone.
I mean, I wouldn't say that Frankston's safe. There are probably people running around with cricket bats and knives and shit. But
There are
I wouldn't
tanks
say
up the
guns,
main street,
maybe.
ICBMs, military parades.
Oh yeah, these guys have got their massive cans of mace.
You know,
that they
fucking
throw.
Paddy's Pub. I saw Kim Jong Un there yesterday.
Paddy's Pub.
Yeah, it's an Irish bar, and I saw
Danny
Pol
DeVito.
Pot. I saw
Pot?
Stalin. They're all in there. It's not safe.
And Ben just had a great time with them that one night. It was the best night of his life.
Yeah, they.
How was Stalin?
It was great. He asked me to drop acid with him. I tried to.
Did you try stroking his mustache?
No, but he was rifling through his pockets to find the tabs, and he dropped his monster condom for his magnum dong.
Fuck this list. I want to hear more about this night in Frankston, mate.
I can't tell you. It's classified.
It's classified?
Yeah, when you talk to a member of the Kim family, it's just that's it. That you're silenced. It's amazing that I got out of there alive. I bought everyone a round of drinks and I did the 23 skidoo when I get out.
Wow. That's amazing. It almost sounds made up.
Yeah. I mean, you're telling me all these
Number 11.
flagrant lies about your hate for seafood, and I'd believe that.
Number 11, Brigsby Bear. Good movie. I think it elevated for me. I think it's better for me than it would be for most people, just because it's one of those movies that just kind of hit me.
Yeah. Where did it touch you?
In the shoulder.
In the shoulder. The shoulder.
Fuck. Number 10, Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I'm not gonna talk about this. I liked it.
We've talked at length.
Number 9, The Killing of a Sacred Deer. We've also talked about that one.
Yes.
That very good. Wouldn't watch again.
Yeah,
but
great.
Very good.
Never again.
Number 8, Get Out.
Okay.
Number 7, A Ghost Story. That was a really good one about like a guy who's in like this very loving relationship, and then he dies, and then he comes back. Oh, well, he comes back as a ghost, but the whole movie is like him. He's in the stereotypical like sheet with the 2 eyes cut out on them, and it's like really like amazingly emotional somehow through getting the just the sheet with the 2 eyes cut out. And so the movie's just about him watching the world go by as he is stuck as a ghost. Can I come back in now? Yeah, I mean...
What I missed?
I was just talking about A Ghost Story.
Oh, which one?
The movie's called A Ghost Story.
Oh, right. Solo, A Ghost Story?
Yeah.
Solo, Woody Harrelson story?
I mean, the ghost itself is Solo throughout the whole movie. So,
Solo, a Daenerys Targaryen movie?
Who's that?
She's the person that Emilia Clarke plays in Game of Thrones.
I thought her name was Khaleesi.
Well, Khaleesi is a title like Queen, and that's why that's
Queen's a really good band.
That's why it's extremely stupid that kids name that people name their children Khaleesi, because that's like naming your kid like fucking king.
I thought it was Queen.
I mean, it's the same sort of. It's the same deal. It's a title. It's like naming your kid financial advisor.
I don't watch Throne Games. I could see the pain on your face as I said Throne Games.
Oh, it was so good.
But it's true. I don't watch Throne Games, and I don't watch Game of Thrones either.
Neither.
No. I'm waiting for it to finish before I even bother starting it.
It's finishing next year. They're doing the final season,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna rewatch all of it because I only.
Well,
watched...
let's do that together.
Okay.
That'd be fun.
It's good.
Yeah.
So what, we're gonna have a special day. We're gonna go. We'll get a massage. We'll eat sushi. Oh wait, you don't like fish. And then we're gonna sit down. We're gonna watch Game of Thrones. We're gonna like touch dicks. We're gonna like hold hands. We're gonna like eat pizza. We're gonna like kiss a little.
Wait a minute. Hold hands.
That's gay.
Number 6, Loving Vincent. I'm salty that movie didn't win Best Animated Picture. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Did it win anything?
No, I mean the only big award it was nominated for was the Oscar for Best Animated Feature. I'm sure it won plenty of other awards for other, like.
Yeah, well,
film
that's the
festivals and
significant.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
What actually won in its place?
Coco, because it's a fucking Disney movie. Number 5, The Disaster Artist.
Yes.
Hilarious. Like, I'd say the hardest I've ever laughed in the cinema.
It's a real Hollywood movie.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the
I want to buy all of them.
is that like Tommy Wiseau on the spectrum?
Yeah.
I want to buy all of them.
No, it was like I think what I did was like somewhere between Tommy and Michael Jackson. Oh,
And who was also high and like on the spectrum at the same time. That's just like default silly voice now. Number 4, Dunkirk, a very good World War II movie.
Very loud movie.
It is very loud. It was really funny when I watched A Ghost Story. I could hear Dunkirk in the theater next door because I watched A Ghost Story at Cinema Nova. And Dunkirk was one of the only like big budget movies that they played at Cinema Nova because it was Christopher Nolan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I saw Dunkirk in IMAX. And that was glorious. It was just so cool seeing the movie the majority of the movie is shot in IMAX. The scenes on the boat are shot in, I think, 35 or 65 millimeter or something, but with a regular camera, like a smaller camera, because they couldn't fit the massive IMAX camera on the boat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like on this dingy little claustrophobic little boat. But having the black bars in the boat scene just kind of added to the claustrophobia because the
feel that
boat's
adds to
tiny. I think it does, especially when you're seeing it in an IMAX movie and you lose like 50% of the picture when you go into the scenes with the black bars.
So if you think, right, changing the aspect ratio, it's good. It's a tool. It's another thing that you can do as much as you would,
I mean,
put
I
a
think
filter or
it just
put
comes
lighting.
from necessity.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't shoot the IMAX aspect ratio with a non-IMAX camera. The IMAX aspect ratio is like almost 1-to-1, I think. If anything, it's 4:3, which is the kind of square you see old movies in.
Yeah.
Also known as the Academy ratio. So if I say Academy ratio, it's just 4:3.
So if Dunkirk was going for both cinematic and claustrophobic, what was Michael Bay's Transformers going for with his use of aspect ratio?
They wanted a sense of schizophrenic aspect ratio.
A sense of incompetence.
A sense of just don't know what they're doing in the edit.
A sense of I don't give a shit.
A sense of like I don't know how to make picture bigger.
A sense of fuck you.
Because I was watching. I wasn't watching. I was in the kitchen getting something to eat, and I saw my dad was watching Transformers the last night, and I looked in the room for like a second.
And what did you do?
I saw like a few seconds of the movie, and it was like the aspect ratio changed with every shot, and it wasn't just like changing from black bars to no black bars, or like changing between. Because I know they shot parts of the movie with an IMAX and parts of the movie without IMAX.
Yes.
And I know so it's just like watching it go from, like for some movies it would just that you'd have one scene in IMAX aspect ratio and then another scene not in IMAX ratio.
Yes.
Like Tron Legacy or the Dark Knight Rises, Hunger Games, or Dunkirk. Something like, I think Justice League was shot in Batman v Superman was shot entirely in IMAX, so the whole movie has one aspect ratio, but that is the cinematic one with the black bars the whole time.
Right.
Which is a stylistic choice.
So when you caught a quick glimpse of Transformers, how long were you in the kitchen for?
I mean, I don't see the front room TV from the kitchen. I went to the front room to like say hi to Dad and see what he was watching.
Okay.
So I caught a few seconds of.
So as you went past,
yeah.
How many times did it change?
At least I counted at least 4 aspect ratios within the span of like 2 seconds, but those 2 seconds had like 50 cuts. So it changed between those 4 eclectic aspect ratios like 50 times. Yeah, because it was a big cinematic action set piece. So because it's Michael Bay, it's going to cut like 20 times a second, and which is obviously a hyperbole, but every single time it cut, the aspect ratio changed.
Yes.
So obviously they didn't know how to just keep a uniform aspect ratio.
Or they hadn't even considered that when they did the other shots for it and then had to cut between, that they didn't match.
But the thing is, they must have used 4 different cameras. Because I don't think you could get... Unless you specifically set one of those cameras to shoot in a few different aspect ratios. So maybe it was completely deliberate. Michael Bay's just become an experimental film director now.
He's an auteur. He's an artist.
He's now making like $200 million experimental films that aren't making as much money as the other ones did. Because this is, I think, I don't think the first one did, but after like the second, third, and fourth movie made $1 billion each, I don't think this one did.
Well,
which is good.
People are getting a bit sick of it.
Yeah, so now they're making a Bumblebee spin-off and they've cancelled like 3 of the other future Transformers movies.
Good.
Yeah. Number 3, Logan. Very good movie. Number 2. Now, Logan is like, I'd say, it's amazing how they managed to use the like 15 years of X-Men movies as weight. I mean, I'm sure this movie's still really good on its own, but like it's just a culmination of the 15 years of X-Men movies.
From your sort of learning to
especially
about Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a great, like, if anything, it's a character study. Like, whereas most of the X-Men movies are very plot driven, this movie is very character driven, and it's just kind of you're just kind of there with Wolverine in his worst hours.
So after all the times you're going, hey, remember that guy Wolverine? You like that guy, don't you? He's
Yeah.
pretty badass. We're killing him.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie?
No. But I think you mentioned that he's like the
Well,
adamantium.
okay, yeah, the adamantium is killing him. Yeah,
making him sick,
yeah, basically.
making
So
him have a
he,
big.
he
sick.
doesn't have. He's not longed for this world, you know.
What if there was a movie and it was about how Kunal Nanjiani is falling in love with Wolverine, but he's sick and he's got to like help him through his illness.
I'm sure there's fan fiction of that somewhere.
And
if not, I will write it.
And Kunal's parents are like, I don't know about this Canadian. He's very strange. He's very hairy. I don't like him.
And he has bone claws covered in his bones are covered in metal. I can't do it.
Why don't you
can't
date
do
a
a
nice Indian girl who doesn't have any claws?
Pakistani.
Yes. That's just like
Kumail Nanjiani's Pakistani.
I'm just doing like general Indian subcontinent.
Okay.
I don't know how to specifically do like
I mean, the accent's not too different, but like
a very very bad man.
birdie num num. Howdy partner. I think that's the only movie where brownface isn't like everyone's just like this movie's bad because he's in brownface.
Because it's a good movie.
Yeah,
So there's
it
nothing to
is.
complain about.
I know Indian people who like that movie. Number 2, Baby Driver. Great movie. I think we saw. Did you see that in theaters with me?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's another movie on this list that you saw.
The
with
balls
me.
on that movie.
Oh yes, I was blinded by the balls on that kid. Is a line that aged badly very quickly.
It's like, oh, Kevin Spacey.
Uh,
Kevin! We need to talk about Kevin.
I need to watch that movie. I bought it on DVD. I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't seen it, but it sounds good.
I've heard it's very good.
Yeah?
I mean, Ezra Miller's a good actor, who was fucking butchered in the reshoots of Justice League. Sorry, I've done it again.
No.
Sorry, I've fucking done it again.
Sorry, everyone. Sorry.
But Baby Driver is just a phenomenal movie. Edgar Wright, just, I wouldn't say topped himself, because I'd say Shaun of the Dead's still his best film.
Shaun of the Dead's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, but Baby Driver is just really. I'm amazed that it didn't win Best Editing.
I mean, visually, it's choreographed very well.
Yes,
the sound design is great.
The sound design is amazing. The way pretty much everything syncs up, and like every time you watch it, you notice new things syncing up.
Yeah.
But I feel like even like without the fact that everything syncs up to the music, the fight scenes are just really well choreographed regardless.
They feel good to watch. It's not
Yeah.
like, okay, I've got to wait, this will blow up. It's like, ooh, I can see how this is moving.
It's really energetic and just like really well shot and edited, and it like just the fact that like you see everything happening and it's just very well done, you know.
And it's a multi-thematic film where like there are moments where you go, it's very light, it's very fun, but then there's lots of tension.
Oh yeah.
Jamie Foxx's character it just gives me the willies. It's just watching him be like,
because we've learned earlier that he's very unpredictable, so we don't know if what he's doing is like is he actually being nice or is he like plotting something. Ooh,
Yo, man, I need some coffee. You know a good diner? No, I don't.
Let's go to that diner. No, please.
Great
That's my impression of Jamie Foxx and Saul Elgort in Baby Driver.
That's a name.
2017.
That's a name, boy. Ansel Elgort.
And number 1, my absolute favorite movie of 2017 was like I saw it twice in theaters and both times is phenomenal. And it's just a great cinematic experience, at least for me it was. Blade Runner 2049, just a great movie. I absolutely loved it. It's just, and even like ignoring the great screenwriting and directing, it's just the production design is phenomenal. Like the special effects, the sets, the costumes, it all just looks amazing. And I love the fact that they didn't try to make it more modern. Like you still have like an Atari billboard in the background. Because even though it's set in 2049, you know, and the first Blade Runner, which was made in '82, was set in 2019. So
okay,
yeah.
So it's set in a future that would be imagined from the '80s.
Yeah, it's still set in the same cyberpunk like '80s future.
Well, because you see a lot of projections of the future are based around the culture at the time. Like when you
Like
see
the Jetsons.
the Jetsons just looks like the 50s with antennas on it. It
Well,
doesn't
that's what
look
the
like...
Flintstones is like, the 50s with cavemen
Yes.
and dinosaurs, even though they didn't coexist.
But you see, in Genesis, there is mentioned that there are great beasts that lived along the humans, and that they...
And also in Genesis it says that the world was created in 7 days. Which is a joke that's really well done in Time Bandits. In Time Bandits, they talk about how, like, really poorly made the world is, but, like, we were only given 7 days to do it. It's great. That's a great joke. Time Bandits is a really good movie that is undone by its ending. The ending is just... I'd call it a non-ending.
So that's not the one where fucking Heath Ledger died.
No, that's the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. But you got the director, right?
Yeah, I know.
Terry
they're
Gilliam.
Both Gilliam.
Yeah.
films.
No. Time Bandits is 1981. The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus is in 2009. I don't think Heath Ledger was even acting in 1981.
He might have been in something Australian.
He was probably like the same age as the kid in Time Bandits.
Was he in like Home of the Wait?
I don't know. The only Heath Ledger movies I've seen are The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus and The Dark Knight. That's literally it when it comes to Heath Ledger for me. I think. But Blade Runner has like just a great message of like what it means to be human, because the main character is a replicant.
Oh, okay.
And we're like, he's like just a really great performance from Ryan Gosling. And like whether like it's just a great movie about like AI and what it means to be human and what it means to love and that kind of stuff. Because like he's in love, but the woman he loves isn't real; she's a hologram.
Right.
It's really cool the way that they did her effect as well. And I mean, Ana de Armas, you can't go wrong with Ana de Armas. Like she's just gorgeous.
I don't know who
I'll
she is.
show you who she is.
Is this a film that Harrison Ford seems like he wants to be in?
Yeah. Yeah, he seems more enthusiastic about being in Blade Runner than he did about being in Star Wars.
Yeah, he seems to really not want to be in Star Wars.
He didn't look like he didn't want to be there. He just looked like he didn't want to do it again. He looked like, I'm fine with this being my last Star Wars movie.
I'm confident that he only agreed to appear in it if he got killed off.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was part of the deal.
This is Ana de Armas.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
She's very pretty.
Are we...
What was I looking at? Oh, I was looking at Heath Ledger. What are other movies that Heath Ledger has done?
Do you want to take a moment to look at that, because I got to pee?
Yep.
Oh, it's like-
Let's have a break, ladies and gentlemen. Simpson. Homer Simpson. He's the greatest guy in history. From the town of Springfield, he's about to hit a chestnut tree. Ah! Have you heard the new Gorilla songs?
I think you showed me one of them, and it's got the one with Jack Black.
Yeah.
And it's so funky.
It's a great song. I don't think Jack Black actually plays the guitar in the song. He's just in the music video.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool to see if he actually has a feature in the album.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, the new album coming out at like, I think next week even. Comes out at the end of June. So
Now, Nicholas.
it's called The Now Now.
Oh! Now,
And
Nicholas.
since we're back from the break, no, I haven't seen anything else with Heath Ledger in it besides those 2 movies.
Right.
But I want to see 10 Things I Hate About You and A Knight's Tale. And
Now.
The Brothers Grimm because it's directed by Terry Gilliam.
Now.
Yes.
How now, brown cow? Now then.
Why is that like a saying? How now, brown cow?
I think it's just like a warm up or something that you give children to make them shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Right. Now, Nick, what I've been really eager to talk about, I went recently and I saw Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Yay!
I saw it with my grandfather.
How good was it?
I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
Now, I've been critical of...
What's funny is before, in the other recording of this podcast, you hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah. So now we are actually better off because we've had some time.
And another thing that happened in between that recording and this recording is I saw Incredibles 2,
Yeah.
which is really good. Go see it.
Do it.
You too.
Now.
You as well,
I would
Ben.
also like to see it.
Yeah.
All right.
Best Pixar movie since Brave. I haven't seen Coco, so I don't know how good it is. But I wasn't too impressed with any really other Pixar movies since Brave.
Yeah, I don't know
Toy
if
Story-
I could name that many that
Toy
have come
Story
out.
3 was okay.
Toy Story 3 was
Inside
a
Out-
rehash of Toy Story 2.
Inside Out was okay.
I didn't see that, but I heard
It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard people that were like, Inside Out is the
it was-
deepest.
It was Frozen. It was like it was just trying to be a movie that appealed to kids, and it's like its goal was to make you feel sad,
It's the
like Toy Story 3. You know,
It's just the deepest, wettest hole.
it's gonna leave that as it is. So you wanted to talk about Solo.
Yes, I very much wanted. Now I've been critical of the Disney Wars.
I know you have.
To recap, I think that that The Force Awakens was fine.
Yeah.
It's got problems. I think that.
I mean, its problems mainly just come through expectations.
A lot of it is that.
It doesn't really have any actual plot holes and flaws.
As a movie, it's like
It's just very basic.
the plot is reasonably similar to A New Hope, but that's not necessarily a criticism because I can see how that is useful for new fans.
Yeah.
To bring people into it, it's probably good to
And
introduce
I'd
people
say-
to the Star Wars
And I would
idea.
agree that it is similar to A New Hope, but I wouldn't say that it's just a like what some people are saying is that it's a remake of New Hope.
It's not a remake.
No,
Rey,
or even that the plot is the same.
yeah,
It's not the same.
The plot is like
Similar,
Yeah.
but not the same.
well, it's got a similar structure, but I don't
Yeah.
know about the plot being.
I think the only thing I really find disappointing about that movie is that they got the guys from The Raid and didn't actually use their like martial arts abilities. That would have been awesome to see this
In
really
a Star Wars film, that would have been good.
Yeah, in this you know the tell that the Kanji Club, you know that scene.
Yeah.
That scene would have been really cool if it was like this massive action battle. Instead, they got these big squid monsters that kind of just CGI'd all over the place.
Yeah, because they had a 75-year-old Harrison Ford who did not want to do anything.
Yet they still had these two young people who could fight,
Yeah.
and they had Chewbacca.
Yeah, so I felt that Force Awakens was pretty good. I actually like Rogue One. It's
Rogue
different.
One is, I think, out of the new, better than Force Awakens and Last Jedi, at least. I'd say that.
Yeah, I think that The Last Jedi is full of holes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's got a lot of problems, but I still thought it was a really good movie. Oh, not really good, but it was just a really enjoyable movie.
I mean, when I first saw it, I came out of it going, all right, I want to see what they do next. I didn't come out going, this bone, but I still
that's the
thinking about
one of the
it,
problems
yeah.
I did have about it was that it didn't feel like it really does lead on to a third movie.
Well, yeah, because you know the things that you know now, the fact
Yeah.
that Carrie Fisher is dead,
Well, no, not even that. It just kind of ends. Like
Yeah.
the ending.
and there's 15 people
I
left
mean,
in
really,
the
the only big conflict I can see happening in the next movie is just like them kind of resolving the whole tension between the resistance,
Yeah.
or rebellion.
The Resistance.
The Resistance-
Officially, they're meant to be the Resistance, but they refer to themselves as the Rebels.
yeah, really. All we need
All the
is just
time.
a kind of a finish to the story, the war between the Resistance and the First Order.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Resistance are going to win. It'd be ballsy if they didn't.
If they just kill everyone.
Not if they kill everyone, but if the First Order win the war.
It could-
That'd be
yeah.
ballsy.
I mean, but then
I hope they
couldn't
don't
make
do
any
it-
more movies.
I hope they don't do another fucking Star Killer base like they did with Return of the
That
Jedi.
would be dumb. People were already
But
like,
no,
"Oh, look, a Death Star in number 7."
what I like about The Last Jedi is I like that it takes its time.
It's a slow burn.
It's a slow burn, and I like that. I thought that was actually pretty cool. And I like the just the plot that it's just this long chase that's really
Yeah.
slow.
Like,
Because they
yeah.
have to go get fuel. One thing I hated about the movie was the stupidness of Finn and Rose once they got to the casino island.
Yeah,
it
Canto
became
Bight.
way too like SJW-ish.
Yeah.
Like Rose's character is fine. Like
Hmm.
I didn't find her as annoying as a lot of other toxic Star Wars fans did.
Hmm.
But I feel like her character arc would have been better if they had killed her at the end. If she had sacrificed herself to save Poe, to save Finn,
Yeah.
instead of letting that energy beam actually go through the door.
Well, if you watch it and you sort of go, like, Finn probably should have been killed just being exposed to that thing for that long anyway.
Yeah.
It would have made more sense for someone to get sacrificed, and then
Yeah.
they could use that as a whatever to
Yeah,
move
that
on.
would have been a really... And it would have also, like, kind of mirrored the fact that her sister died for the Resistance and her dying for the Resistance.
Yeah,
you
like,
know?
whether...
And then, like, it would kind of give Finn a bit more of an anchor to the Resistance.
I think it could have been interesting if either Rose sacrificed herself to marry her sister, or if Finn sacrificed himself for the Resistance, and then she's got this weird complex about everyone around her being killed. And she,
but they were
gets disillusioned with the Resistance.
I feel like the reason they didn't kill her off is because she's an Asian character in Star Wars and a woman, and so they're not going to kill her off. One, because of that, and also because they introduced this new Asian female character in
and then they kill her immediately. That would have been
the first movie, and they're like expecting a lot of people to get angry, and I'm sure a lot of the fans probably would have gotten angry, but it would have been a really ballsy move, and I reckon it would have given the movie a bit more of an emotional center if they had killed off Rose in the film.
Like, the people that see her as an Asian token would have been upset if they killed her, because it would have been, oh, she's just a token character as opposed to...
but the thing is, like, she had actually some decent character development in the film, going from just being a grunt to now deciding she's gonna like do this big thing that like she's gonna break the rules now, you know?
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty cool. And then she dies for the Resistance, mirroring her sister's death at the beginning of the film.
That could have been cool.
That would have been cool.
So
but instead they just kept her on, and then a lot of people... I reckon she wouldn't have gotten as much hate as... the actress wouldn't have gotten as much hate had they killed off her character.
Yeah, well, I think that people would have been... They would have complained anyway, because The Last Jedi was a controversial movie as a whole, but...
I mean, it definitely would have made it better.
Yeah.
If they had killed off Rose.
There are lots of decisions they could have done differently.
I feel like saying killed her off is a bad terminology. If Rose had sacrificed herself.
Yeah, it's not as if they went, she needs to be gone, so we got to find an inventive way to be rid of her. Which they could have done with Carrie Fisher. Because,
and I can't think of many franchises where they introduce and kill off a character in the same movie. Apart from villains. They do it with villains all the time, but I can't really... Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. That's the only one I can think of.
Oh, yeah.
And they only did that because Fox already owns the rights to Quicksilver. I reckon if Fox didn't own the rights to Quicksilver, they probably wouldn't have killed him off.
Right. So, anyhow, so that I've had a mixed relationship with the more modern Star Wars films that have come out.
Except for Rogue One.
Except, Rogue One, I think that's the most solid of all of them.
Yeah.
But with Solo, I had trepidations about it because I heard that there were lots of production problems. There was that they changed directors. Apparently, there was issues with Eldon Reich or whatever the guy who plays Solo. Oldman Echem.
Alden. I know his first name is Alden, but
Old Man Elder Fight.
Alden Ehrenreich. Ehrenreich.
Right.
I don't know.
Alden Ehrenreich. I heard that he had some issues with like channeling Harrison Ford.
He didn't need to though.
Oh yeah, he didn't have to be Harrison Ford. He just had to be Solo.
Yeah.
But a lot of Solo's character is just Harrison Ford.
Because all we've seen of him is Harrison Ford. I can imagine a similar kind of thing happened when they recast James Bond for the first time.
Oh yeah, well,
the first time they recast him, I'm sure a lot of people were like,
Lazenby.
why isn't Sean Connery in this one?
Yeah,
you know,
and also Lazenby was not very good.
Well, he only did one.
Yeah, because he was bad.
Yeah,
and so I went into it thinking, all right, this might be a shit show. So for Solo, Star Wars story, I actually really enjoyed it. I think that Alden Ehrenreich is a really great Solo. I enjoy watching him. I think he's got character. He's smooth. He's got the charisma that Harrison Ford has.
Yeah.
I think that like the plot like isn't.
He was just a very charismatic guy in general. Like even if he wasn't trying to channel Harrison Ford, I think he just did a really good job at being Han Solo, being a young plucky Han Solo as well.
Yeah, well, so he's a Han Solo that doesn't quite hate the world.
So exactly. That's why I don't think the criticism of him not being jaded enough. It's not a criticism that is warranted because. He's not as jaded because this is set 10 years before he becomes that jaded.
We're seeing the transition from him being a boy on Corellia to the point where he's this, world-weary smuggler who distrusts most people. We're seeing him get to that point, and there's a lot of bad shit that happens to him.
In this movie particularly,
And will probably continue to happen to him.
Well, he's going to... You're like... Okay, from this point onwards, there will be spoilers for... Solo. I think we can, if we give that warning, we can, And I mean, it's Star Wars, so most of the people who were going to see it probably have seen it by now.
Yes.
Including you.
Yes.
But so they talk about this group of gangsters on Tatooine.
Yes.
Obviously alluding to Jabba the Hutt. So we know for a fact that his future is not bright.
No,
Yeah,
because
but
he then goes to work for Jabba
so
and then
so
pays him a lot of money.
what did you think of Redface showing up at the end of the movie?
I went like,
Fucking Darth Maul.
oh, okay. Because the thing is, like, it could be just another guy of Darth Maul's race, or it could just be him.
It's supposed to be him because of the robot legs.
Okay, well, I didn't see his.
Did you
I
not
didn't see his legs.
even hear the sound?
I suppose.
As he stood up, you hear a.
Suppose I was too busy being like, oh,
Holy shit, it's Darth Maul.
Is that Darth Maul?
But then, as soon as you get the dual-ended
Yeah.
lightsaber, you know it's Darth Maul. But like that part gets the Star Wars fans wet. Not just because it's Darth Maul, but because he's got the robot legs and he's got the Rebels lightsaber specifically.
Well, the thing is, like,
And that seemed like a bit that might not have been added by Ron Howard, but by like Lucasfilms wanting them to kind of add connective tissue between this movie and future spin-offs.
Well,
'Cause I feel like that scene. So the mention of Jabba and Darth Maul showing up at the end, I think alludes to like maybe connecting to the Boba Fett movie that's coming out in a few years.
Yeah.
And maybe the Kenobi movie. Because the
Possibly.
Kenobi movie will obviously be set on Tatooine.
most likely,
And I'd
yes.
say the Boba Fett movie might also be set on Tatooine.
It could be.
It could be him getting involved with Jabba
with
the
Han
Hutt.
Solo. Oh yeah.
Or with Han Solo even. Yeah.
Well, so
Actually, it'd probably be better if it is him getting involved in Han Solo. That'd be pretty cool. But the thing is, I think the Boba Fett movie, it's going to be like a Western set in space.
okay.
I mean, that hasn't been confirmed, but considering who's directing it, I think it's easy to kind of assume. It's being directed by the guy who did Logan, the 310 to Yuma remake, and the Wolverine, which is also kind of Westernish, but also a samurai film. It's just a guy, he likes the Western genre,
Yeah.
and he has like a lot of Western influences in his non-Western films, and so he's just kind of, it's pretty cool to see that they're gonna go in that kind of direction with a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, well, there are a few other things that I really got to say about this film.
Yeah.
So, modern Star Wars has been criticized a lot by sort of being like, oh, I know that, I saw it and I clapped, and so I feel like seeing Darth Maul at the end, in part I was like, oh shit, is that Darth Maul? And part I was thinking, alright, well, what are you doing with this? Is it just because we know that guy and you're putting him here?
No,
or
I would
is it because
assume that they're
you're gonna
building
do
it
something?
up. Yeah, I would assume they're building it up.
And also, there are a number of... Most of the characters in this film are great. It's not as if it was just Han Solo and that's it, because like Lando Calrissian, as played by Donald Glover,
Yeah.
great.
Oh, best casting choice in the movie, I'd say.
There's a lot of
think
just charisma. There's a
the
lot of
only-
smoothness in this film.
The only characters in the movie that are pre-established are Lando, Hal, and Chewbacca. So really, they can do whatever they
Call him
want.
Hal?
I said Han.
Did you?
I said Han.
I thought you said Lando, Hal, and
No,
Chewbacca.
Lando, Han, and Chewbacca.
Okay. Oh, it's Han, actually.
Han. What did you think of the way that they explained his surname?
I think it's interesting.
I thought it was...
It-
The only difference I would add to the scene is that he comes up with the name instead of the other guy. The circumstances are exactly the same, but he says Solo, the other guy instead of the other guy.
possibly. I think it's interesting because in a lot of cases...
Just to not upset the fans.
As a historical tidbit, there are
Yeah.
groups of people who historically did not have surnames,
Yeah.
and then they had to invent surnames for taxation. But like the
Yeah.
Jewish people originally were all something, son of something.
Yeah.
And then when they
Well,
moved into places that required
exclusive.
taxation,
That's not exclusive to Judaism. Most
No, well,
surnames,
that-
a lot of surnames do come from son of. My surname comes from Owenson, which comes from son of Owen.
yeah. Well, I mean. Yeah, those are the surnames that people would use, but
Yeah.
then when they moved into like Roman occupied territories and they had to tax people, your name would have to be something. So you'd
Yeah.
adopt a name like Goldstein,
Yeah.
or Feinberg.
But you could just
and you'd
kind
use
of
that based on like where you
Yeah.
lived or who your dad was or like
yeah.
or what you do. And so Han being a slave, he
Doesn't have a
he
name,
doesn't
yeah.
have a surname. He doesn't come from a family. He doesn't have a people.
No.
And so he's just Han. He's got enough information about him so his slaver can point him out and go, that guy, he didn't give me the shit
Yeah.
that I need. And so when he's getting out, they go, so son, who are your people? And so they have to invent a name for him
Yeah,
just
yeah.
for the
And
purposes
so I
of
like that. I
bureaucracy.
like that was the reason that his last name is Solo.
It's
in
a-
that
it's a red
he is
tape excuse.
Actually, is that he actually is Solo. He doesn't have a family.
I think that's cool. I think that Emilia Clarke in the film isn't just like, oh, we need like boobs. She's a character.
She's well done.
She's
too,
important to the story, and she does stuff.
Yeah.
But I think
she's definitely like proved to me that she is a good actress and doesn't just read out lines like in Terminator Genisys.
Terminator Genisys was, well, that's just an action film. It was just about the explosions.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fun action movie.
She's really good in Game of Thrones, I have to tell you. Considering
Which I still haven't seen.
Because you haven't seen Game of Thrones. You're like, oh, who is this bitch?
No, I mean, I know she's in Game of Thrones.
I'm like,
and I know who
Daenerys
she plays.
Targaryen.
And I know what she looks like in Game of Thrones, right?
But then also, the guy, the bad guy...
She's very small.
She's a small lady.
Yeah.
So the main guy who's in the yacht, the guy with the thing on his face...
Yeah.
He's my favorite character in it. Because...
Paul Bettany.
Yeah, that guy.
He's Vision in the Marvel movies.
Because he's just a dude. He's not... Like,
yeah,
he's not like 7 feet tall.
He's not even really a villain. He's just a businessman.
I mean, like he's
not. I wouldn't say he like does the bad things out of love for being a bad guy.
Well, he does it because he wants to be rich and he wants to
exactly.
So he is the villain.
Yeah, he's the villain of the movie.
But because he's just a person, he's not someone with mystical power. He doesn't have a huge super weapon,
and he doesn't have this like want to rule the universe.
Yeah, he doesn't have an overarching like a universal dominant desire.
No,
or he doesn't want to dominate people for the sake of being powerful. He just wants to have. Yeah. He just wants to keep himself in the lifestyle and to not be killed by the people that he has to pay.
And it's like one of the. It's like as most Star Wars villains, it comes to we have to stop this person.
Yeah.
Right? That's the goal.
Because they are ultimate evil.
No, whereas this time it's like, oh, he just runs into this guy who happens to be a dick, and now he has to kind of either evade him or stop him, you know?
Well, because
he's
got something that Solo wants.
Yeah, his goal from the start of the movie is not to stop the bad guy, you know?
Yeah, because Han is kind of an aimless guy. It's just about, what can I do to get my next paycheck?
His goal of the movie is to get enough money to get a ship to save his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And now... his girlfriend's already free, so there's his goal gone.
Well,
I guess
she wasn't trapped on Corellia, but she was owned by that guy.
Yeah, exactly. He still wanted to try and travel the stars with her.
Yeah, he's still...
Which is his new goal. His new goal is to free her from this guy.
Yeah. But the thing is, he was just a man, but... he was frightening.
Paul Bettany is a great actor.
Like, looking at him, I'm thinking, what's he going to do? I don't know what this guy wants. And the thing is, when he's in the meeting, he's just like, all right, well, I'll kill you. If you can't give me exactly what I want, then, fuck you. I'm going to murder you now.
Yeah.
And watching Han be like, I can figure it out. I know what it is. We'll do the thing, and I'll give it to you. He's like, okay, do it. Or I'll kill you.
Yeah.
And I believe in him. Like, he's gonna murder a bitch.
Yeah.
He's about to choke a bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's a nasty man.
Oh, and you like the scars on his face just add to it.
I think that's just like his people look like that because it's like uniform. It's
kind of looks
the
like
same on the both sides of his face.
I don't know. It kind of just looks like it. Is it symmetrical?
I think it is.
It doesn't look that symmetrical to me. It looked like it just kind of he got scratched on the face.
He just had a bad time.
Yeah, that's why his eyes are bloodshot as well.
I think that's just because he's high all the time.
That could be it. Actually,
he's just constantly on rocks.
Could be it.
He day drinks because he's like, let's eat a little and drink a lot.
I think that.
Oh, he's a bad man.
I think that group that Warwick Davis is a part of,
Emphas Ness.
Yeah, well, Emphas Ness's clan is, I think, supposed to build up to another group of people. It's like they'll show up. Maybe they might show up in the Boba Fett movie.
Well, because it seems
I think
like
they start up the rebellion.
Yeah, well, because they offer Solo to join. It's like, oh yeah, we're starting this rebellion.
But she's not.
Wink.
Emphas Ness is not a character that is like pre-existing in like somewhere in the Star Wars lore.
Oh yeah.
She was made
never
for this
seen
movie.
Her before. Yeah.
Well, not even in like the novel, the millions of Star Wars. Like,
so she's not even extended universe.
No. She's brand new for this movie.
All right.
Which is interesting.
So canonically, Emphas Ness starts the rebellion against the
in the movies, the
Red Dawn.
Then after Disney bought Lucasfilms, I think they made all the extended universe stuff.
Yeah, they just retconned it.
They didn't retcon it. It's like an alternate universe, alternate timeline.
Oh, okay.
Basically, that's why they can get away with killing off Luke.
Yeah.
in The Last Jedi, because now they can change his character up because they don't have to use any of this extended universe.
And that's just such bad luck that they killed Luke and kept Leia alive.
It is. It is.
Because they're like, okay, we want to keep one of them that's going to be around to be like guidance, to be like the parent.
And then they
And
kill
they
off
pick
the
the wrong
I mean,
one.
Mark Hamill can always come back as a Force ghost.
Oh yeah, they can just do a Ben Kenobi.
Yeah. Or a Yoda.
Or Yoda or any other ghost that appears.
I want Qui-Gon to show up in the Kenobi movie.
Well, yeah, because at the end of Episode 3, Yoda says that he's been able to contact Qui-Gon,
Which is just foreshadowing for why they could become Force ghosts in the original trilogy.
Yeah, well,
But-
because you don't see it
Because they obviously weren't planning on making a Kenobi movie on its own. But because they have that bit of information in the best prequel movie, they can actually put it in the Kenobi movie. That'd be really cool. I'd love to see
I want
that.
to see Liam Neeson.
I just want him to come back. I want him to be Qui-Gon again.
Qui-Gon was cool.
Qui-Gon was cool. One of the best parts about The Phantom Menace is Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
One of the best parts about Phantom Menace is that whole subplot of Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul.
Qui-Gon's kind of responsible for all of the bad shit that happened. Because he was
He is the reason why... Really, he is. Yeah,
because the council full of elders are like, look, no, we can't train this kid. He's too old. He's got problems. We picked him up when he was 5. Like, he knows who his mum is. He's like, no, we got to train him.
Yeah. I sense great power in this boy.
Like, look, he's space Jesus. All right.
I sense great power in this boy. We should train him before the Sith get to him.
Yes.
So I think even if the Sith got
Also,
Anakin,
I suppose, yeah, they
a
could
lot
have
of
just
that stuff
weaponized him
could've-
from the beginning.
yeah,
They could have done like a Ben Solo.
yeah. But I don't think the Sith were incredibly open until the Revenge of the Sith, until Order 66.
Oh well, Palpatine was all about
He was
just
hiding.
having whoever was the best for him at the time.
Yeah, but he was in hiding the whole time as a Sith.
Yeah,
So,
but he
like
he only picked
the
up-
Sith weren't as public as they were until Order 66.
Yeah, because supposedly they disappeared because the Phantom Menace is meant to be that the Sith was supposed to be gone,
Yeah.
and they've just come back. They are
Yeah.
a phantom,
Yeah,
and so seeing this spiky headed dude, like, who is this?
and he's got a red lightsaber, so you know he's evil.
Yeah, he's got a red lightsaber, so you know he's bad.
And he's got those Sith eyes that Anakin had for one shot. Why did he have it for one shot?
Cat eyes.
That was a weird part. That's like one of the weirder bits about Revenge of the Sith is that he has Sith eyes for like one shot in the movie.
When you turn bad, you get yucky eye.
But then his eyes are the same. They're normal Hayden Christensen blue eyes for the rest of the movie. He turns around, looks at the camera with his Sith eyes, and then suddenly doesn't have Sith eyes anymore. Anyway, we've talked about Star Wars.
So that's pretty much
Enough.
what I wanted to say about Solo.
Yeah, very, very good movie. Thank you, Kazdan boys.
Is there anything else that you wanted to cover before we finished?
Hereditary was really good. I watched that.
What is Hereditary about?
So Toni Collette is Oscar-worthy performance.
United States of Tara.
Very good. She, her mother, who she's not overly connected to, passes away.
Right.
And she's kind of dealing with the grief and lack of grief. And then paranormal stuff happens.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to go too much into it. It's very good to go in this movie blind.
Okay.
Yeah. If you ever, for some, like, you don't see a lot of movies in theaters, but if for some reason you see Hereditary in theaters, go in as blind as you can.
Just walk in.
Like you don't even need to know what I just told you, because it explains it in a title card in the beginning of the movie, so...
Okay, so
Yeah.
it just tells you what you need to know, and then...
Well, it just tells you this woman is dead.
Then pushes you in.
Then pushes you into the rest of the movie. Grandma died. Here's the rest of the movie now.
Enjoy!
Yeah, pretty much. Creep 1 and 2. Two very good horror movies on Netflix. I'm just gonna list off a few, like, recommendations, just because I like doing that.
Well, should
we
we do
don't-
that on the regular? Could be like, hey,
Yeah, I mean, that'd be fine.
check this shit out.
If we don't have any listener emails, which we don't.
Yeah. Looking at you.
I mean, yeah, you can't, like, if
Listener?
there was a camera, we'd be looking at, like, directly at the camera.
Looking directly
but
into the capsule of the microphone.
We're just looking directly into the microphone because that's where we talk into. So.
We can't rely solely on Cat Lover to be the
the
driving
only
force
the
behind
only
this channel.
the only person who actually, like, comments on pretty much everything, you know? Cat Lover and Ben.
Yeah.
Those are pretty much like the most,
I don't count because like
because you're like in a lot of the content that you comment on.
everyone else, lift your game.
Yeah, I have 950 subscribers, and I get like 9 views on the last episode of the podcast.
Subscribers more like.
Yeah,
Because they just came here for the.
I reckon if we did a second Spubby video, it'd get more views than Expand On.
Alright, we went through like 4 pages of the greatest of all time
Yeah.
for Spubby. So
Do you want to do
the rest of it would just
Spubby worst of all time?
it would just be us looking through it and going, that's not very good.
Yeah, no, I mean, Reddit reads best when you don't do the same subject over and over. Unless it's a subreddit that has a lot of good content.
Yeah.
Creep 1 and 2 are really good movies. Go check them out. They're on Netflix.
Do it.
And there's going to be a third one, which will
Oh.
be hopefully good too. Round out the Creep trilogy.
Threep?
That'd be a good title.
It'd be CRE3P.
Yeah, Threep. Like how they write 3PO in the novels.
Or like C7.
C7N?
Yeah.
No. I mean
C7N.
3PO, as in the like in a lot of the novels,
Yeah.
like novelizations of Star Wars movies, you'll see 3PO spelt THREEPIO,
Yeah.
or R2
Because
spelled,
that's what Luke calls him.
or R2 spelled
ARTOO.
ARTOO.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
R2!
R2! There's a bit of like, we've got a few images about Aquaman and Wonder Woman 2, which is really cool. Finally, like the dry period of being a DC movie fan is pretty much done. Like the period of getting nothing from DC except like the occasional tidbit or the occasional set photo while they're shooting outside in public, you know?
Are they compensating for the dryness by setting it in the fucking ocean?
Yeah, by doing an Aquaman movie. Well, what's funny is that
Oily
like,
fish man?
like we hadn't gotten anything, and then suddenly Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot release like 2 images for Wonder Woman 2, which has started. Well, Wonder Woman 1984, which is what it's called, which has just started shooting recently. Like I think it's like a weekend maybe, and it's really funny. Like this movie doesn't come out until November next year. And we've already got like 3 pictures for it, and then Aquaman comes out in December this year, and we just recently got like a bunch of images because of Entertainment Weekly did a big piece on it. I think we're gonna get a trailer for it at a Comic-Con, so that'll be awesome.
Do you reckon Aquaman is oily? Do you reckon he's got a fine sheen of oil on him?
Do you want him to have that? Do you want to like rub his muscles?
Do you think that I'm just thinking of it as like a slick, slippery
You're
Jason
probably just
Momoa?
thinking of Khal Drogo.
No, I'm just because he's like a
Drogo?
Yeah, because he's like a fish. He's like fishy, so I think that maybe he would be oily like a fish. I think that
his
both
skin.
his beard and like his real thick mane would just stink. I think it would
Probably.
just
I mean,
smell.
I'd say he's wet all the time, even when he's
In the
on dry
ocean.
land.
Like ocean water is filthy because like fish.
Well, I'd
shit
say
in it.
he probably. Yeah.
gross.
Movie magic makes him clean, basically. His wife controls the ocean. She controls water, so she can. That's how she can remain clean. She can just kind of keep the water around her clean.
Speaking of which, there were these 2 guys that came through self-serve today.
Yeah.
And they just smelt like sweet and sour ass.
Well, they probably just like got out of their house and went to the shops, and then
No, they reeked like the air was thick.
like he hadn't bathed for days.
Like he was a big dude, so I think he was just hiding stuff in his folds or whatever. But the thing is, I was in self-serve.
Did he?
And
Oh
I'm
no,
like-
you self-serve because he probably
Yeah.
wouldn't fit through the actual checkout.
Because I sniffed and went like, oh, and I looked around to see what it was.
Yeah.
And they were like, can you help me with and so I had to go over and help him, and
Yeah.
I just it was unbearable, and I wasn't like, dude, you need to shout, you stink.
You should have said like, we have some complimentary Woolworths brand deodorant.
There's nothing as complimentary ever.
No, not even compliments.
In fact, his smell was an insult to
Not
me.
even compliments are complimentary.
No,
Like
that
you don't.
costs money.
No. Yeah, you have to pay to be treated well at Woolworths.
No, we're actually pretty nice at Woolies. We're pretty good here.
He's paid to say that.
Oh, I think we're pretty nice. I'm nice.
Woolworths is absolutely awful.
It's just
the
that
store
sometimes
is
the customers smell.
the store is terrible. Come
it's
at me,
great.
Woolworths.
It's nice.
Coles is better.
Do you want to fucking fight me? Do you want to go?
Nah. I just want to start a race war between Woolworths and Coles because I don't work in either of them. I don't have a job. I'm homeless. Except I live with my parents.
Yeah, you're really well off.
Since I'm 20, does it just like does it? Because like when you're a kid, no one really says, "Oh, he's 7 and he lives with his parents."
No one would say that.
Does it like? Am I at the age now where I'm classified as living with my parents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say you live
I'm 20.
I'd say you live with your parents.
Well, so do you. You're 20.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So are we at that age where even though we're just like
We live with our parents.
we live with our family?
Yeah, I've got people, like I have friends that don't that live out.
I know people. Yeah, exactly. I've got friends who live on their own, but like they're generally. I mean, yeah, exactly.
Fucking impoverished.
Generally, they're just not like rich.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call any of them broke.
Below the line.
All of my broke friends lived with their parents, including me.
Because they can't afford to not.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
not live with
Well,
them.
yeah, like, so, like, at what age do you think you would move? Do you have the money now that you'd be able to move, like, as soon as you can?
If I worked full time, I could, but
Okay.
I also go to uni.
Is your job part-time or casual?
Casual. At the
Okay.
moment. I'd been talking about going part time, but
Yeah.
like Michael has been looking into going to places. So like, if I knew at least one other person, maybe 2, maybe 3, that wanted to move out, I would consider it. I would consider it heavily.
Would you prefer to move in with another person
I
rather
would.
than being on your
I
own?
would only do that because
Yeah.
I just don't have the money. If I moved out by myself, I would be flat broke.
And miserable.
Really
and
quickly.
lonely.
Maybe. A little
You'd be playing Fortnite all the as soon as you get home, you immediately go on like Fortnite just to have some semblance of human interaction.
I don't have the money to have a place, to furnish it, to buy food, and to like get. I don't have that sort of money. If there was a place that
pay your bills.
Yeah, if there was a place that already had furniture and all I needed to do was pay my rent, and I was living with a couple other people that could make the rent smaller.
Some apartments come with already. Some apartments already have furniture.
Oh yeah, a lot do.
You could like. Is there a rule saying that you can't live in a hotel?
No, it's just that it's prohibitively expensive. Like people that live in hotels, like John Lennon lived in a hotel.
Yeah,
he lived at the Dakota just because he could.
Yeah,
because in New York City there's not a lot of space, and so if you didn't want to buy a fucking house or something, you'd live there
or an apartment.
Yeah.
Do people call their apartments houses? Like this is my house.
I suppose.
I guess if it's big enough,
people use like house and home interchangeably sometimes.
Well, home, yeah.
But if someone
obviously
said,
they would
live in a
obviously
house?
they would call their apartment their home. But yeah, if I said like, let's go to your house, would it be rude of them to say actually my apartment?
I mean, I think they'd just be a dick by correcting you.
Pedantic.
Yeah, unless you live in like a box or something, then it's probably fine to say house.
I don't know. I'd call a box a house.
It depends. How big is it?
What, a dishwasher box? A fridge box?
Can you if you can't stand up in it, then it's probably
No,
not.
I'd be able to stand up in a fridge box. Make a house out of like cardboard boxes, but you have to have like an actual like shelter above your actual house, just so when it rains,
so it doesn't dissolve.
Yeah,
but it'll like run down, it'll trickle, and then it'll eat the floor.
I said, oh. Well, like, okay, like in a garage.
It needs to be on a tarp above the ground, and then also under a shelter.
Or just under a shelter.
But it needs to be not touching the ground, because if it rains,
no one
then
says that like the rain will will loop underneath the shelter.
Yeah, it runs. It'll run off the roof onto the ground, and then it pools on the ground.
Get a shelter that's big enough to cover the whole cardboard house, and then like when it actually does drip on the floor, it doesn't run over to your house.
Well, it'd have to be it'd have to be flat.
Or
it would have to not rain too heavily.
What kind of like rain doesn't curve underneath shelter?
I'm not saying that it's gonna do it's gonna like jump and like.
And when it lands on the floor, it doesn't automatically just like become attracted to the nearest cardboard.
No, but if it rains heavily and it all trickles down to the same spot,
okay.
I can't.
If it rains
occupy.
heavily, your house is screwed because
Yeah, so
Heavy
if you-
rain comes with wind, which will blow the rain towards your
Well,
cardboard
that's
house
another
anyway.
one. That's another
So,
problem.
your best shelter for a cardboard house in a storm would be like a storage container.
Yeah. It's made of metal.
Yeah.
Just live in this container.
Live
Don't
in a
even
storage container.
Don't even bother about the cardboard.
No. The cardboard's just like furniture now.
You can't sit on cardboard. It'll crumple under your ass.
If you've got enough cardboard.
Hey, do you know what's at the other side of my cardboard house?
What?
The end.